It is December 11th, 2019. We're coming down the wire on Christmas. Listen, we're going to start welcoming everyone in. Welcome to the United States Black Chambers, the USBC Directory live broadcast. Listen, every week we bring great Black-owned businesses around the country. Many of them you have never heard of. So we do what we can to bring our members of the United States Black Chambers around the country and highlight their businesses because we have some amazing Black-owned businesses around the country that you have never heard of. So I'm going to welcome each and every one of you to the broadcast. I'm going to ask that you start sharing this broadcast as I ask you to do every week. Share the broadcast. And if you're out there, please start some watch parties. There are many people, many of your friends that's friends with you on Facebook, friends with you in many different facets, and they would love to hear about what's going on here at the show. So I'm going to ask that you share the broadcast, share it with your friends, share it inside of your groups, and start some watch parties also. This is exciting. This has been great. You know, I tell you, last week we had a great show. We had Ms. Velma Traham on the show last week, and she was discussing her program that's coming up here next Monday. So if you are in the Atlanta area, I'm going to ask that you go to Millionaire Mindset Academy, millionairemindsetacademy.com. Go to that website. There's a great event that's taking place there in the area. One of the speakers she'll be having is Reverend Jamal Bryant there at her program. She's one of the members of the chamber. She's doing great work around the country. She has locations in Houston. She has locations in Atlanta, and she has a mini office in Los Angeles. So she's all over the country. She's everywhere. So this is exciting. This is exciting. So I'm really excited about our guests that we have on today. We'll be bringing them up here shortly. Really excited about what we have going on here. So again, I'm Brian Morse with the United States Black Chambers. Again, every week we bring great Black-owned businesses from around the nation. So I'm going to ask that you just share this broadcast. Let everyone know that we are on. We are live. Hang out. We know you probably had a long day at work. It's been tough. Whatever's happened with you and your boss, just forget about that. Get you something to drink, get you some tea, get you something to eat, and relax. And let's learn about how to grow a business and how one of our members with the United States Black Chambers, how she was able to grow a great $1 million Black-owned company, particularly being a Black woman. So all of that is especially important. So definitely want you to be able to sit back and relax and hear some of that. So this is really exciting. So if you have not done so as of yet, please download our app, the USBC Directory. It is the largest, repeat after me, the largest Black-owned business directory on the planet. No other business directory is larger than ours. We list over 107,000 Black-owned businesses around the world. So in the United States, in Canada, the Caribbean island, the United Kingdom, and in Africa. So, and if you're watching from Africa, no matter where you're watching from, please place it down in the comments where you're watching from, who you are, what you're doing, and tell us a little bit about yourself and about your business as we get started here. So this is going to be a great program. So download the app. If you'd like to become a member of the United States Black Chambers, log on to our website, usbcdirectory.com, and click the link that says join. We made it really easy for you. So it's 3-4 words, JOIN, join. Join today. So usbcdirectory.com, join the chamber. Man, we have some great Black-owned businesses. I talk with them on a daily basis. I just thank God every day that I have the opportunity to work with great Black-owned companies around the nation and really do what I can to help them to grow. And you're going to hear from one of our members, one of the opportunities that she was able to get because she was a member of the chamber, only because she was a member of the United States Black Chamber. So a great opportunity that was presented to her and to her company. So definitely excited about that. So again, share the broadcast, tell your friends, tell your family about it. I'm not going to take up much time. I want to bring on our guests. But before I do that, we do have a sponsor for the show. And I want to talk a little bit about our sponsor. So today, our sponsor of our show for the USBC Directory Live, he was on the show a couple of weeks ago. MC Harry Associates, great architecture firm out of South Florida. MC Harry Associates is an architecture firm with over 60 years in award-winning and designing services. MC Harry Associates continues to innovate and lead in community excellence. Conveniently located in the heart of Miami, MC Harry Associates has extensive experience in all project and concept ideas. MC Harry's portfolio conveys a diversity of projects that they've successfully completed. Man, a great company. MC Harriet Associates' philosophy is to capture and precisely deliver their client's vision every single time. Their team of architects and designers work harmoniously to achieve greatness. Their success is their client success. So reach out to MC Harry at marketing at M like Mary, C like Charles, Harry, HARRY.com. Again, contact MC Harry at marketing at mcharry.com. Listen, that is great. So please support our sponsors, man. Our sponsors have been great with the show. We started this show back in September, and it's been really exciting how we've been able to bring our business owners in and really discuss the business. So not going to take up much more time. Got a great show today. I think my speakers and my guests, they're ready. They're anticipating, can't wait to tell their story, and they're excited about what's going on here. I cannot wait to talk with them and to introduce them. So again, our guest on USBC Directory Live tonight is Tina Williams of TCecure, a Black woman-owned $multi-million cybersecurity IT firm. And just to read a little bit about them and about their company, we're going to bring her on. Tina Williams is the president of TCecure. TCecure is a cybersecurity risk management and critical infrastructure protection company based in Maryland with a presence in multiple states. TCecure reduces the attack surface of client environments and systems by providing multiple services. TCecure's core services includes security architecture and engineering, software assurance, vulnerability, threat, risk assessments, training, consulting, and program security. Tina Williams is also joined by Don L. Rondeau, Senior Advisor with TCecure. So listen, welcome to the broadcast, you two. How are you doing today?
Doing well. Thank you, Brian.
Doing great. Thank you for having us.
No, without a doubt. So great to have the both of you onto the show today. So TCecure, Tina Williams, and Mr. Don Rondeau, great to have you on the show. So I want to start with you, Tina. First of all, I see you have your collars popped there. Is that? I think I've seen that several times. Is that like your signature? I think that's your signature look, right?
Right. Well, yeah. We'll go with that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen you without that. So that's right. If you weren't wearing it, I don't know if I would recognize you.
Right.
All right. So Tina, TCecure is a member of the United States Black Chambers again, and we are the headquarters for roughly 100 Black chambers across the country. If you are a Black business owner out there and you are looking for support, you're looking for a network and a group of great Black business owners to be a part of, I definitely encourage you to join today. Again, hop onto our website, usbcdirectory.com/join, usbcdirectory.com. And remember also to download the app. The app is USBC Directory. Okay, so Tina, tell us a little bit about yourself. Introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, a little bit about your company, just for a few minutes to introduce yourself to our audience today with USBC Directory.
Yes. Well, thank you, Brian, for the opportunity. So as you stated, I am Tina Williams Karoma. Add in that hyphen. Got a ring on it. So yeah, excited about that. Been married a little over 2 years now, so that's exciting. I got connected with my running partner, and I always comment and say marriage is a destiny move. So choose wisely. So really happy about that. I started TCecure several years ago now. I've been running it full time for coming up on 6 years come January. So in terms of my background, I started out as a software developer. So I did undergrad was computer science. So it was a STEM field. I really had the opportunity and really emphasize and encourage for those with kids or children to really get them connected into STEM things starting middle, high school. There's a lot of different initiatives now, probably even more so than when I was a kid. But really connecting those dots and getting that interest early can be really helpful. And, also getting a chance to try out a tech field. There's so many different variations in those types of fields that, learning early on and having a chance to say, not quite that, but this might be it. I think that's really important. So I got a chance to do that even before getting to college and throughout college and certainly throughout my career. So from a professional perspective, I've gotten progressively smaller in the entities that I've worked for. So I started out with Lockheed, went on to Unisys, went on to another small business and being their vice president. So combining both technical as well as business development expertise, which I think is really helpful. I had a chance to learn a lot about business development and management and some of the non-technical aspects of cybersecurity that have really helped in me growing my own company. And so, as I indicated, started running TCecure full-time about 6 years ago. I'm also a licensed attorney, largely just use that in-house. So from a degrees perspective, it's a bachelor's in computer science, a master's in management with the e-business concentration, and a law degree, and a license for the state of Maryland. So certainly when it comes to cybersecurity, I like and have the opportunity and experience and education to approach cyber from both a technical, business, and legal policy capacity. When I'm not working, I love playing soccer, captain of a women's soccer team here in the Washington, D.C. area. So I play regularly. We've had some great championship wins of late. So that's always exciting and fun. And
When do you sleep?
Yeah.
Do you sleep?
Yeah. Sleep. You know, I actually saw this analogy one time. This pastor, he indicated, if you want to have your, if you want everything to fit, you have to look at your top priorities as like stones or rock. He had a container, and he indicated if you put the stones or rock in first as like the top priorities, then sand is the other stuff that you want to do. Everything fits. But if you put in some of the ancillary stuff as represented by sand in first, then the top priorities or the rocks will never fit in the container. So yes, I'll say all of that to say sleep is one of those core stones or rocks that goes into the container first. So yeah, I make sure it's in. Yeah.
Oh, that's a great analogy. That's a great analogy. All right, so Mr. Don Rideau, give everybody, welcome to the broadcast again. So introduce yourself and tell everyone a little bit about yourself and who you are.
Thanks for having me. First, I want to say she did not directly answer your question about if she sleeps. I have yet to see it.
You know the truth.
Yeah. Yes, my name is Donnell Rondo, and for about 2 decades now, maybe longer than I care to admit, I've been supporting various national homeland security and anti-terrorism programs, mostly at the federal level, but throughout Fed, state, and local government, and I've been supporting regional efforts and the commercial sector as well. I have managed, developed, and pioneered some of what the main core deliverables of the Department of Homeland Security are today. I pioneered information sharing, serving as a conduit between the Department of Homeland Security and those critical infrastructure owner-operators, which are by and large small businesses. And so I had that kind of pioneering and even painstaking experience of working with agency and industry to identify common ground and really have developed a great working relationship and credibility with our American small business community. And so, I'm really proud of that. I've directed programs that some of your viewers may be familiar with. I've applied leadership to See Something, Say Something, Highway Watch, the First Observer program. I'm this nation's first Homeland Security Executive of the Year, named so by the first Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, Mr. Tom Ridge, in support of the International Association of Counterterrorism for Security Professionals, and have appeared on major network news across the board, from CNN, Fox, MSNBC, you name it. I've been there more times than I can remember, associated with Homeland Security, anti-terrorism, and missing and endangered children. My work is Homeland Security, anti-terrorism, in support of TCecure, where I serve as the Senior Advisor of Critical Infrastructure Protection. I am an advocate for missing children and have spent time in the streets of Baltimore and elsewhere searching for missing children and searching for those who harm them. I have had success in identifying the bad guy. And so my colleagues and I were sitting around one day saying, if we can find a terrorist, someone planning an attack, or information that is deemed a danger, can't we find this missing child? Can't we say, let's apply these resources to finding missing children? And the children that we prioritized were most vulnerable were Black children. So that's where we put our efforts. In Baltimore, a case that came to prominence was the Felicia Barnes case, a case that we literally turned the city upside down. Your viewers will be able to find that information. It ultimately positioned myself and others to draft legislation that was signed into law by then Governor O'Malley with the leadership of people like great delegates like Jill P. Carter. But ultimately, I think that we were able to create the first law of its kind named after an African-American child, a girl of color. A case that today no one has been held to account for. We were able to pass the law, identify suspects, search for her, and still no one's been held to account.
Okay, excellent. No, that is to hear, man. You've done a lot, and both of you done a lot. All right, so Tina, you're a Black woman in tech. You know, that is, man, everybody that knows about Silicon Valley, we hear about how many of our companies, they're underfunded, and how there's a lack of diversity in tech. So how did you get to be in tech? You know, and so tell us, talk about some of your successes and talk about how you were able to get into tech.
Yeah, so let's see, getting into tech. So, you know, going back to some of my initial interests, this dates even back to, you know, high school. I tried a programming class. It was Pascal, to date myself a little bit, as a programming language, and as a sophomore in high school. And, you know, I took the class and I did not like it. I said, well, computers are not going to be my field. I don't like this. And I said, you know, I think I want to be a physical therapist. And then I tore my ACL playing basketball and had to be in a physical therapist's office quite a bit more than I ever wanted to, but also realized this is not where I want to spend my professional career. So I actually had the opportunity to do an internship with a program through NASA that was called the Summer High School Apprenticeship Research Program, SHARP. And through that, I got a chance to, again, work with computers and on computers. And so I said, well, let me give this a second try. So I took C++ from a local college when I was a senior in high school. And as a part of that internship program I did with NASA SHARP, University of Maryland, Baltimore County, USBC, the Meyerhoff program. Great program, certainly, you know, highly recommend listeners to check that out for students led by Dr. Freeman Rabowski, president of USBC, and in coordination with Mr. Robert Meyerhoff, and increasing the number of African Americans and other underrepresented groups in getting their advanced degrees. So I got into that scholarship program, majoring in computer science. And so I got my bachelor's in computer science, and I had the opportunity during my college career to do internships at UC Berkeley after my freshman year, at Georgia Tech after my sophomore year, and at IBM Watson Research Center up in Hawthorne, New York, right near New York City after my junior year. I've stayed within that realm. When I was with Lockheed, I did a rotational program, started out with software development, but realized I'm not passionate enough about software development in particular, and had a chance to rotate into a position around network security and cybersecurity. And I haven't turned back since. So had varying degrees of cyber exposure in a lot of different capacities, doing some computer forensics type of work, as well as doing assessments and engineering and testing. So a lot of the services that you currently see reflected in TCecure now are ones where I've had throughout my career the opportunity to actually deliver in myself. So that's the great thing about being an entrepreneur. I get to take various areas that I'm passionate about. There are only 24 hours in a day, but by creating a company around some of those areas, I'm able to expand my reach, partner with you know, a team and a group of really capable professionals to do so. So certainly there is a very limited number of women, and Black women in particular, in this field. And I serve as a board director, vice chair for TEDCO Maryland, and here in Maryland, which is the Technology Development Corporation. And that's the driver for entrepreneurship within the state of Maryland. So I have a really great opportunity as an entrepreneur myself, but also working in the capacity as a board member to really get involved in making the various entrepreneurs here within the state, to include underrepresented ones, knowledgeable and aware of what the opportunities are and some of the education around building a company. So it's
No, that is absolutely great. That's absolutely great. So again, for everyone joining us, I want to say thank you for joining the broadcast. Please share the broadcast, start some watch parties. So again, we're here today with Tina Williams of TCecure and Don Rondeau, Senior Advisor with TCecure, a Black-owned $1 million IT firm. So I really want to get into the nuts and bolts about what you're doing. But for those that are just watching, tell them about some of the great successes that you've had with your company and what you've been able to do. So, and don't be shy. Pop your collar. Don't be shy.
Well, no. Yeah. So yeah, over the past 6 years, we've really had an opportunity to grow and have a pretty diverse customer base. So we do some federal government contracting work, Department of Defense with the Air Force and with the Army, and also with civilian agencies. Doing work with Department of Justice and GSA and Consumer Product Safety Commission, USPTO, and NIST under the Department of Commerce. So those are just some sample government agencies we had an opportunity to work with. Also, from a state and local perspective, we've done quite a bit of work and continue to with the University System of Maryland and universities within that system, as well as with the Maryland Judiciary and also with the State of New York Office of Mental Health. So lastly, we've done work in the commercial sector. Not as much as in the public sector, but we're expanding there. So we've had a strategic partnership, industry partnership with the Maryland Manufacturing Extension Program as a part of the Defense Cybersecurity Assistance Program. So in that capacity, we've been able to help other small businesses come into compliance with the Defense Federal Acquisition Regulations, DFARS, NIST 800-171, and we're positioning ourselves for the cybersecurity capability maturity model that's imminent for 2020. And so,
keep going.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So other successes have included for the state of Maryland. We were the first certified, qualified cybersecurity seller for the state of Maryland, and that's very strategic as a part of their Buy Maryland legislatively enacted Buy Maryland tax credit program. So. For buyers within the state that purchase services from TCecure, they have an opportunity to get a 50% tax credit for those services. So by us going through that process and being certified as such, we're able to provide a value add to businesses and industry here within the state of Maryland who need to get cybersecurity services and have certain budgets that they're working within. So certainly a tax advantage. We also led as the partner with the University System of Maryland, Cybersecurity Academic Innovation Office for the nation's first cybersecurity federally funded research and development center. So we had the opportunity to work with University System of Maryland, with NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, to help integrate cybersecurity into in academia into the process that NIST has at the National Cybersecurity Center of Excellence, creating cybersecurity solutions for industry, practical cybersecurity solutions for industry. So those are just some of our successes to date. We're continuing to grow and expand, and we've got some major initiatives kicking off in 2020. Yeah.
I know Don's going to talk about the 2020, so I definitely want to hear a little bit about that. So, but before I go to you, Don, and again, we're here today with Tina Williams of TCecure and Don Rondeau of TCecure as well. And I want you to give out your contact information as well, Tina, the next time you speak. But for those that do not know, and again, as everyone else watching, thank you for joining the broadcast. stay on for a while. Don't move. Stay right where you are. Hang out and learn a little bit about a great Black-owned business. Again, every week we bring great Black-owned businesses that are members of the United States Black Chambers from around the country. And we bring them to you so that you can see that what you see on the news about Black people is not always the truth. There's some excellent, great companies that are doing great business, that are scaling their companies and growing their companies as well. And we want you to learn what they're doing so that you can apply that to your company, to your business as well. So for those that are not familiar, what is cybersecurity, and why did you pick that? And why is that important to who we are and what we're doing?
Yeah, so cybersecurity is really focusing on three critical elements when you think of data and environment. So one is confidentiality. You want to control who has access to your data as a company or to your systems, right? Like you want to make sure that only those that should have access do actually have access. And that's where privacy and security certainly line up quite a bit. So even when, I'm talking to kids and things like that, I ask them, well, do you want just anybody to be able to see some of your private messaging, statements that you're sending to your friends? And they're like, no, so even, for youth or young kids, like that notion of the fact that certain data we only want accessible to certain people is one part of cybersecurity, confidentiality. The other core part is around integrity. We want to make sure data is right. And one of the common examples I give for that is if you think of your financial data, where the decimal place is matters, right? Like, so it might be okay if they make a mistake and move it to the right, but it's not okay if it moves to the right.
No, don't swipe left. Swipe right.
Yeah, exactly. So the integrity of the data that you're working with, you make this, like any business makes decisions about data, right? And they're providing advice. So no matter what industry a business is in, the integrity, the accuracy of the data, because we rely on it, is very important. And so cybersecurity is about protecting the integrity of data, making sure it doesn't change unless we change it or we know that it has changed, right? So that's one part of cybersecurity. The other one is
before you go too far, give your web address and your contact information for those that are watching. And first of all, I want to say hello to Nelson Malay. I think that's what his name. He's watching from Africa. So thank you for joining the broadcast. How you doing? Way over there in the motherland. And so give your contact information there again.
Okay. So our website is TCecure. That's T as in Tango, C as in Charlie, E as in Echo, C as in Charlie, U as in Umbrella, R as in Run, E as in Echo, TCecure.com. And you can reach us at info@TCecure.com. And my name is Tina Williams Karoma, as Brian has indicated. So, I'm sure we'll have another opportunity to let you all know what that contact information is again.
Absolutely. I want you to hold that thought, Tina. I want to Don. So, Don, tell us, what is your role with TCecure? Because this company is 100% obviously owned by yourself, right, Tina?
Yes, that is.
So we love to hear that. A great Black woman-owned company. And so what is your role? How do you help to support her? And for those that are watching, Black women, I say it almost every week, are leading the nation at starting their own business. And we celebrate that here at the Chamber. We just had a women's conference here about a week or so ago here in DC. And so we do what we can to help to build up our women and to make sure that they're growing and expanding. So thank you for what you're doing. And what is your role there? And how do you see what you're doing, helping to grow the firm and grow TCecure?
Yeah, absolutely. So you don't have to hear Tina talk much to understand the energy and drive that she has, and the corporate culture here at TCecure reflects her personality. She is go, go, go. She's very precise. She's very sure and confident about what she wants to achieve. And that's reflected in the past performance, the client list that she talked about. If you noticed, she spoke to innovating opportunities, leading programs, directing programs. She has played, and TCecure at her direction has played a critically important role in cybersecurity. Many of the practices and principles that others leverage now are influenced by the work done by TCecure. In support of her, I am leveraging my know-how on how to engage the commercial sector and the federal sector to take advantage of all of her pioneering work. We're going to take that great work that she has done, that TCecure has committed to, that excellent world-class cybersecurity expertise, and bring it to market, right? So these small businesses, your members, other elements of the federal government can take advantage of it and protect us all from cyber breaches, cyber attacks. And we want to make it user-friendly. Tina does a great job. She has world-class expertise, but she's able to, as she just demonstrated by just displaying when she talks to children about cybersecurity, like her expertise and the expertise of TCecure, we can resonate with it as the non-cybersecurity professional, right? What good is world-class expertise if you can't access it? Pardon me. Well, TCecure, our mission is to make this world-class expertise accessible by the business community. Now, large commercial companies, they may have a cybersecurity and IT security person or department, but we know, and I know you know, that the driver of our economy, the most probably important segment of our business community, is small business. Yeah. That's the job generator, right? Our country goes as small business goes. But they're also the most vulnerable. They're the most targeted by bad guys. They are most likely to experience a cyber breach. And the consequences of a cyber breach in the small business community, in that sector, in commercial sector, can be devastating. And the SBA routinely promotes on their website that it can ultimately lead to it puts them out of business. Just one breach.
That is such a great point that I just mentioned there. I love that. So let's break that down, because many Black people that are in business are watching this. And again, welcome to everyone that's watching. I'm Brian Morse of the United States Black Chambers. We have Tina Williams of TCecure at Karoma. Tina Williams Karoma, correct?
Yes,
she got married, so she corrected me earlier. Of TCecure, and Don Rideau here talking about cybersecurity and TCecure Company, $1 million Black-owned, woman-owned company. So for the company out there, we have, with the chamber, we have members that are doing hundreds of millions of dollars in business, and then we have those that are doing hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then we have the startups as well. So for those that are startups and those that are in the hundreds of thousands of dollars space, explain to them, and I love what you just said, Don. I want to jump to Tina. Explain to them why this space is so important for them and why they need to protect their website against attack. We all hear everything what's going on with Russia and Facebook and all of that, but why does that make sense to a small business making $100,000, $500,000 in business?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense because our customers trust us. They trust us with the data that they provide to us. So I talked recently to another business that was working on providing services to children within schools. And so I had a conversation with her about the types of data that she's collecting about those children. And so it's very important that we protect that type of data, because our customers just have a baseline expectation that when we're giving them the data, that they're giving it to us. They're not giving it to someone who may be breaching our systems. They're not sharing it with some stranger. They're sharing that data with us and trusting us with it. And so our ability, or another business owner's ability to protect that is very important. As I talked about, from a cybersecurity perspective, it's both the confidentiality of the data, the integrity of the data, no matter the business, from a startup to, multi-million-dollar business. The confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data is critical. Getting that kind of reputation early on and having to, respond to or pay for some breach notification, type of deal. Small businesses may not recover from that, right? Like some larger.
Well, that's a great point. Now, for those that are watching, so when you say breach, what do you mean by breach? So I have a website. Again, my company, I might be selling a product or a service, making $100,000, $250,000, $500,000 in business. What does a breach mean to a company like that?
So every state has their own data breach laws, and so the thresholds may be different. So some states may say if you have records of like 10,000 people, right? If an attacker is able to break into your system and access some of your customers' data, that would be considered a breach. And when you have a breach, there's certain notification steps that you have to take. You might have to notify your consumers. Some of us may have gotten emails before saying, X, Y, and Z company was breached. Your data was confirmed as being compromised, and they then offer you a year's worth of monitoring protection, right, of your social security number and credit monitoring and things like that. That company has to pay for that, right? Like either they have an insurance policy or they're paying for it directly. But they have to pay for their customers whose information was breached or compromised, right? So that's just from a legal perspective, what they may have to do and pay for. But then there's the reputational perspective. If a company finds out that by giving my data to this company, it was compromised, and now I'm dealing with identity theft because somebody, stole my credit card information or, has other personal information about me. I don't really want to go back to that company anymore, right? And that's, whether it's a pizza shop or a veterinarian, type of company or a beauty salon, right? Nobody likes that feeling of when I gave my data to this company, it was compromised.
Wait, speaking of that, that is a great point again. That just happened with one of our major credit bureaus. I'm pretty sure you heard about that. Yeah. And I think the CEO was either quit or he was fired, something like that.
Fired or quit, yeah.
Yeah, you know how that goes, fired or quit, quote unquote. But if it can happen with a major credit bureau,
right?
How does a small company protect themselves if it can happen to Facebook, if it happens to a major credit bureau? It's happened here a lot here recently. So how does a company protect themselves from breaches, from people stealing their information, hacking into their website, shutting their website down, all of that? How do you stop that?
Yeah, so the good news is a lot of these attacks aren't that sexy, right? There's some things as basic. Most of you probably, if you use like Microsoft or even if it's a Mac operating system, you see automatic updates, right? And you're like, oh, it's so inconvenient. Snooze, don't apply. I don't feel like doing that right now. I don't want to shut down, etc. But those automatic updates are what are called patches. Patches are security code that is intended to update the operating system to make it more secure. Same with like the apps on our phone. They typically have like, hey, here's the security fix. This is what this update does. So it's so important, just something as basic as that, to make sure you keep the updates, keep your operating system updates on. Getting an antivirus software and putting that onto your computer. So there's some really basic things that can get done, and we'll get into it more later, but a lot of what TCecure is focusing on initiative-wise for 2020 is really helping small businesses in a way that provides security solutions that allow them to budget in security from the beginning, so that it's just a part of how they do business in a way that's predictable and affordable. But the good news is there are very good and cost-effective ways to approach cybersecurity and to protect themselves. And even big companies, a lot of times it's the little things that are done or not done that allowed for that breach, like having a system without any password, right? Or with a password that's extremely easy, like 1, 2, 3, 4. So you'd be amazed.
Like password.
Exactly, password. Yeah, I mean, kids can download little hacking programs from the internet that can take advantage of stuff like that. So that's not even that sophisticated. So there's very basic stuff that even small business owners can do and actions they can take. So it's not insurmountable to the point where you can just bury your head in the sand because it's just what can I do? So I think. Yeah.
No, that's great info, because I will say, I'm guilty of when I see those updates, man, I don't do those updates.
Right.
It's because, it's probably true. And many people that are watching, again, thank you for joining the podcast here with Tina Williams of TCecure and Don Rideau of TCecure, a Black woman-owned $1 million IT firm, cybersecurity firm. So please share the broadcast. Please start a watch party. Let people know that it's a great Black-owned company here. And I'm here learning as well. So I definitely want you to stay and listen and watch so that you can learn from a great company that's been able to scale their business. So I've been guilty of not updating because part of me thinks, well, yes, shame on me. Part of me thinks, well, they're updating, but they're trying to fix something. Then once you update, something else doesn't work properly that worked well before. or you think maybe they're trying to take some of my information. I'm losing some of my privacy. So a lot of times I don't do that. I'm pretty sure other people are thinking about that also.
Yeah, so I think to address that, certainly it's a concern, right? With making updates, compatibility testing. A lot of times, if you make the update, it's like, oh, well, this worked, before, and now it doesn't work. It doesn't work now. But I would say to that that's the smaller, number of cases or times. And, every decision to update or not to update, the reason why at TCecure, we really talk about risk management and making risk-based decisions, right? So even in a small business capacity on should I update or should I not update, it really becomes a risk-based decision. What is the greater risk, right? If I don't update and I'm outdated, that means when patches or updates come out, that means hackers have been given a recipe for how to compromise the system, right? So if you don't apply the patch, now that it's been published, like hackers or adversaries know exactly how to compromise, and they'll go scanning the internet for systems that haven't applied a certain patch. And if you're on that list, then it's like, great, it's candy. They already know how to compromise it. It's a known vulnerability or weakness that's in an operating system. And once it's known, then it's also known how to exploit that weakness, right? So that's where, as small business owners, it's important to make a risk-based decision, right? Like, so if you, if the application that may no longer work isn't a core one to your business, then maybe that's not that critical, right? Go ahead and apply the update and, work through it afterwards for the application. But if that computer that you're working off of is one of the core ones that has a lot of customer data, then from a risk-based decision perspective, it's likely a better idea to go ahead and apply the patch. It's a lower risk there, especially if the application that you're concerned about not working isn't one that's core to your business. Or to providing services to your clients.
No, that's great. All right, done. So we talked a lot about that. So in your role and what you're doing with TCecure, expound upon what she said a little bit, because you brought that up. I thought that was such a great point. Expound a little bit on that.
Yeah, sure. So one of our challenges is meeting the demand of small business owners. The dynamics that we're speaking about are really a failure of those of us in cybersecurity. We have a market, they're experts in their domain, but they know little about cybersecurity. When I met Tina long before coming to work for her, she was that one world-class expert that could break it down for me, that didn't position me to have to become a cybersecurity expert to make an informed decision, right? I can do what was important to me. And so now here, that's my mission in support of her, right? She has this world-class expertise. She's able to break it down and put me in a position to make a risk-based decision, a data-driven decision. All of your viewers are experts in their domain, but they didn't necessarily get into their business to become a cybersecurity expert, right? That's not what they dreamed about doing. And so far too often, people who are in cybersecurity don't understand that they engage small businesses in a way that would require them to develop, to even request help, to even call in and say, what do I need? How much does this cost? Where my mission in support of TCecure, in support of Tina, is to expand upon the good work that she's already done by answering that question, that they know how much it's going to cost, that they know what they need, that they don't have to ask us in our language. They don't have to speak cyber to say, I need to be secure. I don't want anyone to have access to my stuff. I want to be able to monitor my network. I want to protect my customers' information. What's the best way to do that with my budget and my business? And so we answer that question proactively. We have built those products and services. 2020 is going to be a very exciting year because we really feel like we're on the cusp of changing the way cybersecurity services and products are introduced to the marketplace. You know the stereotypical. Please go ahead.
No, finish that thought. But I don't want you to get into 2020 yet. I'm going to go to Tina, then I'm going to jump back to you. But finish that thought, what you were saying.
There's a stereotypical engagement where you have the IT guy or gal, and she's rolling her eyes at the ill-informed small business owner who doesn't know a router from a server, or, these things, right? And that exists. But what they fail to understand, what I've learned a long time ago, is that business owners, successful business owners, they are experts. They have every bit as much expertise in their domain as us cybersecurity professionals, right? And so any time that a person fails to implement basic cybersecurity procedures to protect themselves, that's a lack of awareness, and that's a failure of cybersecurity professionals. Now at TCecure, we're not going to fail like that. We're going to make sure that we inform the marketplace, we educate the marketplace, that we position them to ask for the support and services that require in the language that they speak and in the way that they do this.
Yeah. No, that is great stuff to know. And I think it's so if you are out there and you're a company and it doesn't matter what size you are, I'm going to ask that you reach out to our guests. Because we all need to be protected. We see the news every day again about Russia and about Facebook and about Cambridge Analytics and all of these, every other company out there that has all of our information. And but we don't. By the time we give it out, we do not know where that information is going, whose hands it's landing into, who they're selling it to, and no. So Tina, give your contact information again, so that those that are watching can reach out to you, and then also. Give that, and then we're going to come right back to you. So, but give your contact information really quick.
Okay, thanks, Brian. Yeah, so you can check us out online at TCecure.com. That's T as in Tango, C as in Charlie, E as in Echo, C as in Charlie, U as in Umbrella, R as in Run, E as in Echo, TCecure.com. And you can email us at info@TCecure.com. We're also on Facebook and LinkedIn. So you can stay up to date with us there, and we look forward to hearing from you.
No, that's great. All right. So again, we're here as you just mentioned with Tina Williams of TCecure and also Don Rideau of TCecure, a great Black woman-owned company. Thank you all for joining us. Please share the broadcast and tell everyone that we're on and that we're live. And so I want to say hello to a few individuals from the broadcast that's been watching. We have quite a few. So Nanda Redding, thank you for watching the broadcast. Regina Maxey, thank you for watching. Dorothy Cole, hello there to you as well. Gertrude Fisher, thank you for joining the broadcast. Please share the broadcast and start some watch parties. And Becky Murillo, thank you for joining. Brian Owes, one of our members. How you doing, sir? And of course, Miss Keisha Jennings is watching. Thank you for watching there, Miss Keisha Jennings. And Erica Michelle Bailey, thank you for sharing the broadcast. Thank you all. This is a great show. I think this is vital information that we need to know and that people need to know about protecting your companies. It's one thing to start a company. It's another thing to be able to keep the money that you have and protect the business that you have, because cyber attacks are part of your business and lawsuits are part of doing business as well. So I'm going to transition a little bit. So Tina, earlier this year, I think it was around June, someone from our chamber here sent me an email, said, hey, we have an opportunity for some of your members, some of your women members in the DC area. And so I looked through our list and I picked a few individuals, and you were selected for this particular opportunity. So tell everybody about the opportunity that you were selected for only because you were a member of the United States Black Chambers.
Yeah, that was really, really exciting. So, Brian sent out an email note, and it was an opportunity for the Global Entrepreneurship Summit, which was conducted in partnership with the U.S. Department of State and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for the Netherlands. And so as a part of that Global Entrepreneurship Summit, that's something that happens annually. This year, it was held in The Hague in the Netherlands. And I was selected as a company to go and as an owner to participate at that Global Entrepreneurship Summit. And so with that came my flight was paid for, as well as my hotel accommodations. So my husband and I got a chance to make that into both a business and a personal trip. So we got him a ticket as well. That wasn't paid for, but we just have to pay for one ticket in the hotel
instead of two.
Oh, yeah, exactly, as well as accommodation. So that was a really great time. Got a chance to network with and meet entrepreneurs from across the world and really hear about some of the great things that are happening in various sectors, agriculture and energy and finance and technology / infrastructure. So it was just really great. Sometimes as a business owner, don't get as much of an opportunity to have just the CEO innovation, creativity type of hat on. And in attending that event, and spending some time there, just having a chance to listen to others that work in different sectors was just really, really impactful.
All right. We're having a little.
I think it is really helped to turn that turn back on that creativity, and led to strategic hires and other decisions throughout this year. Don being one of those, to really can from a CEO perspective, really continue to innovate.
So Tina, really quickly,
I have house and getting that kind of experience and networking with other entrepreneurs.
We here?
All right, we may have a technical. Sorry about that. Yeah, talk about that.
We have.
Right? Technology is great until it's not, right?
Yeah. All right. That is, I was talking to one of our members who kind of mentioned what you said. His company does $90 million. He's over in California. And he said, technology is great when it works.
Right. Exactly.
That was just a test, Brian. We wanted to gauge action.
Right.
Yes. Listen, I was wondering if we were being hacked.
Right.
Just wanted to make sure, Russia wasn't calling. But say that last piece a little bit, some of the things that you learned from that conference again, because it went out there a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. So I think just as a CEO of a company, a lot of times, especially for a small business, a lot of times we get caught up in a lot of the administrivia and things like that. And we don't get as much time to really innovate and think creatively and, be in that position and at the helm of, leading the company in new directions and into new markets. And so by having an opportunity to network with and be around various other CEOs and entrepreneurs at the Global Entrepreneurship Summit, that really was inspiring to me and got my wheels turning again, around creativity and innovation and where I wanted to take TCecure next. And it also, really inspired taking some additional risks and making some strategic hires to really get to what I envisioned. So that was really an opportunity for me to take a step back and really put my full CEO hat on as a lead and, being at the helm of a company. And one of the, strategic hires that came after that experience at the Entrepreneurship Summit is, Don here. And, with working with him and, doing some of our planning, we really have a lot of really great things teed up as we keep alluding to for 2020. So, really appreciate the opportunity.
No, I'm glad you went. That was when you told me you were selected, I was excited for you. I was excited.
Yeah.
I did not know you were going to the Netherlands. I thought you was going to, somewhere here in DC.
Me too. At first, I was like, "Oh yeah, let me just respond," and then I email with .nl, and I was like, "Somebody's trying to hack me. They're phishing with this." And then I recalled that you sent me an email about an opportunity. I was like,
That's funny. That's funny. That's so. That is such a great point for those that are watching, and I think everybody, if you're in business, this is a key point in business because I love what our CEO Ron Busby says all the time. A lot of times we are busy working in our business, and we're not always working on our business. And it's so important, particularly now that we're at the end of the year. Use this time. If you're out there, you're in business. Use this time to start to figure out what do I want to do in 2020. How do I see my company growing? And one of the things that I learned in business is you're gonna have to be willing to spend the money. You got to spend the money. You have to make the time. You have to, whatever point you've been able to grow your business to, now you're going to have to reinvest into your company to take it to that next level. It's not going to just grow by itself. And so that's where Don comes into play. So now Don is joined the team. So Don, tell us about 2020, because obviously 2019, you can reiterate a little bit about 2019 and then the last 10 years, but tell us about 2020 and beyond, where you see TCecure going and how you plan to help her to scale it and grow it from there.
Well, I can tell you she's already laid an incredible foundation, and TCecure has really been in some critically important places. She has pioneered, again, much of what is done, at least regional from a cybersecurity perspective. My job is to, one, position her to continue to lead. So we're going to free her, and we have freed her from some of the more mundane aspects of running a business. Now, she has enough energy to do both, but we want her focused on innovation and leading, and that's what she does, and she's uniquely good at it. So we're taking the lessons learned and all of the practices that we've pioneered and introducing them to the marketplace in a way that we know will impact the client and consumer experience, right? And we say consumer in a way that is consistent with how people buy stuff. We want people to feel as though they can buy their cybersecurity expertise, their products and service, the same way they can buy a meal, the same way they can buy a car. They make an informed, data-driven decision, understand what their wants and needs are, and the price and what they're getting is clearly communicated to them. They don't have to become experts. Part of how we're doing that is establishing the very means to do just that. That we have taken a look at what is important to different businesses and assembled processes and products and services in a way that proactively will respond to that demand. You keep running your pizza shop, you run your auto dealer or beauty salon, or you're a physical trainer or a martial arts place. You run your business, take care of that, and we're going to put you in a position to say, that's the type of support I want. This is my budget, and obtain it and protect your hard-earned business, because one breach can put you out of business. Another thing we're doing, as I mentioned, some of the things that Tina is talking about, the cybersecurity service providing community has known about for many years. It has yet to make its way to the end user, the client, the consumer, the marketplace. Well, that comes from awareness and education. And we're going to make a big push to educate a number of people. My background includes training millions of people, leading programs that have trained millions in anti-terrorism awareness curricula and related information across the business community. We're going to take those lessons that I've learned the hard way and put that in support of Tina, and your members and the business community at large will better be able to make informed decisions because they will be aware, right? So you will make a better choice about protecting your company. You won't ignore the next time you get an alert that says you need to update, because you will be better informed. And that's what the marketplace will do. We talk about risk-based decision-making, data-driven decisions. Well, people have to have that data. They have to understand what those risks are to their business. And we're going to put them in a position to do that. You know, if your car breaks down, Brian, you have the ability to call. There are these national services that allow you to call them, and you don't have to be an expert in tow trucks, and you don't have to call 1,000 numbers, right? Well, we have developed a very robust capability. We're still testing it out. It's not market ready yet, but in 2020, we're going to position small businesses to be able to call one number, understand what that cost is, and be able to get the type of cybersecurity support they need to protect their business without having to become cybersecurity experts. So we are productizing and these capabilities, these cybersecurity products and services in a way that can be consumed by the marketplace. We're making it easy for people to make informed decisions. And like any good business, we are disrupting the market to our advantage and the advantage of our clients, right?
Disruption is good.
Absolutely. We are disrupting the market and letting out this wealth of knowledge and talent and expertise, and really positioning, you know, some of those disadvantaged communities that have not had access to cybersecurity and IT expertise before. They've had to go through someone. They've had to go around someone. We're going to bring it directly to them.
No, that's great. That's great. I love that. So you all, so they're working on something, but they can't tell us about it just yet.
Right. Well, unleash these initiatives, in 2020. So stay tuned. February will be quite the month. So stay tuned to our website, TCecure.com, and look on our Facebook and LinkedIn pages. Yeah.
We can tell you about something that highlights how even cities are vulnerable to a cyber breach, a cyber attack. And there's a well-known breach.
It happened in Atlanta. It happened in Atlanta, earlier this year. They shut down their computers, and then the hackers were like, give us a ransom.
Yep. It happened in Atlanta, and even more recently, it happened in Baltimore City.
It did. So go ahead and finish that thought, Don. That's a great point.
Yeah. So in support of the city of Baltimore, which was a victim of one of these ransomware attacks, where a criminal organization is, breached, and now they're holding the city hostage in some respects. Yeah. We will be leading a cybersecurity exercise in partnership with the city of Baltimore at the Electronic Technology Center in Baltimore, free, with elements of the Department of Homeland Security and some of our partners there to educate the city and its stakeholders on how to better protect yourself from a cyber attack.
Yeah.
And, that's an example of us. We're solutions providers, and
that's
we're
huge.
Yep. And
I think there's a market there for you all. Here's some free ideas. Take this, write this down, Don. There's a market out there. There's a niche market, particularly for smaller cities. Everybody always wants to go to the larger cities, New York City, LA, Baltimore, Washington, D.C. But these smaller cities around the country who have those smaller budgets, they cannot afford a cyber attack. So if you can go in there and help them out, that can really help to transform your business.
Yeah,
we agree with that. And Baltimore is just the beginning of something very special.
Yeah.
I want to say too much because we're disruptors, but we're going to get after it. Trust me, we're going to get after it 2020.
No, that's great. So this is such a great point. I really love this conversation because it's real. It's something that's happening. Large corporations are very concerned about, even right now, everything with the tariffs. A lot of that is dealing with America being concerned with China taking our intellectual property. We're also giving them our intellectual property. Say, hey, build us this factory, or build us this plant, build this car, build this information. and they're going to take it and build it for themselves also. So, but a lot of that is happening in this space. So take us back over the last 10 years, Tina. Now that we're at the end of 2019, we're at the end of a decade. So give us a recap of your business, some of the things that you've learned, and some of the things that you've been able to do to get your business to this point, and then again, where you planning to go in the future. So give us like a recap of this year and the last 10 years.
Okay. A recap from this year, from 2019, we really had a great opportunity to bring in a lot of new clients. One of the things I will emphasize and certainly give a shout to KJA Marketing, who business development, KJ and Associates, who does a lot of our business development for us. They have really been instrumental in harnessing the power of marketing. And so Keisha Jennings with KJA really connected me to a powerful, marketing company, and really making sure that our name is out there. You can do some really great things, and if nobody knows about it, then it's really hard to build and scale a company. So we've had a lot of new clients and leads come in through our efforts and just making sure that what we're doing and what we're offering is very well known. So 2019 has been a really powerful year, and really leveraging the power of social media, marketing, communications, and making sure that the great work that we're taking on is really clear and available. And that includes, individuals that I used to work with that work for other companies and things like that. Good work begets more good work and opportunity. So, that's another thing that I put out there. Certainly business development is important, but some of the greatest business development is just making sure you deliver appropriately for your clients. And even now, I'm glad that you mentioned a 10 years. I've been running TCecure full time for about 6 years now. But a lot of that has really led up to my experiences before then, to being able to really run TCecure successfully. So, opportunities as working as a manager in a larger company, and then as a vice president in another small business before starting TCecure. A lot of these ideas and just the skills and expertise leading up to, TCecure having a formal name and us, me full-time operating in it. A lot of that planning started before I was operating TCecure full-time, right? And so I think it's really imperative to start that kind of preparation for those that may not, be full-time in their businesses yet. I do think it is very helpful for, a few years out before you want to start running it full-time, that you start making plans, start really understanding what it takes to run a business full-time, making sure your finances are lined up in support of that, right? Because customers can pay slow sometimes, you perform the work, and, I always say, have at least enough in the bank to be able to cover things for a good 3 months, right? A good 90-day period before you actually see the first check. Yeah.
That is such a great point. So with your business, when you first started it, were you completely full-time, or did you go part-time and then you went full-time?
So I actually had the blessing and the gift of having the company that I was working for at the time become my first client. So I actually had a business that was supportive in me launching out on my own. And so I had the opportunity to start full time in supporting a client that I used to work for, and just able to support them in a B2B capacity versus in a W-2 capacity. So from there, I was able to continue getting and winning new contracts and growing and expanding. So I started the company on paper, I like to say, at the end of 2012, because I had an opportunity where a colleague of mine needed some training for a customer, a public sector customer. And, so I said, well, hold that check. I know that I'm going to start a business. You can make it out to a business name instead of
Smart.
Yeah. So I went ahead and got that, and started the company on paper, but I wasn't working in it at all until January 2014. And so that's, coming up on the 6-year mark of working in the company full time.
No, that is great. I love that. So you're a Black woman in business. How is it being a Black woman in tech and just a Black woman in business trying to go after those corporate contracts, which we all know here at the Chamber how difficult those can be. And then also going after the federal contracting, which can be a little bit easier, but of course it takes time. Still have to deal with the relationship. So how has that process been for you?
It truly is around relationships. And I know it can sound, like trite potentially or cliche, but it really is built around relationships. I have to say that TCecure's business has been driven by and come through relationships. It's somebody that I used to work with, in a trusted capacity. I delivered well, as an individual contributor, working for another company. They remember, what I do. They see some of our marketing on LinkedIn. They make connections, to somebody else they know who they heard is looking for security services. And so, that's how a lot of, our business has really come about. And so, I think it is, challenging. You never know the opportunities that you missed per se because somebody had a negative perception about a woman or about a Black woman, in particular. So it's hard to measure missed opportunities, right? The ones that don't come about because, and that you don't even have an opportunity to respond to. But I can say that, the opportunities that we have had, a lot of it is really just focused on, did you deliver, right? Did you handle and manage the customer's expectations on time, within budget, and at the level of quality that was expected. And I think some of the greatest business development is taking care of and handling, past business. So again, like if for those that are looking to transition into, running their business full time and stepping away or, haven't quite hung out the shingle, yet, I would just, continue to emphasize that you look at it now and the relationships that you have, your current coworkers can become future clients. Anybody that you're working with and networking with now, as you're growing and scaling your company, it's just important that your personal reputation, the scripture says a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, yes.
Absolutely.
Right.
One of my favorite scriptures. I love that.
Yes. So maintain your good name. Operate with integrity. Memories can run long, and a good name can bring those great riches. So that would be my feedback, and especially as a Black woman, where it's already you're kind of digging out of a hole in terms of perceptions. It's vital to maintain a good name.
I was just going to ask you particularly about being, there are a lot of Black women that are watching, and those that are in business. And so, talk, if you have any particular experiences, give us some of those experiences that you've had with being a Black woman in business, being a Black woman in the tech. It doesn't necessarily have to be negative. It can be positive or negative. But just talk about the real nuts and bolts of actually being in business. Because one of the things I always say to our members and, potential members, I say it's one thing to be a Black person in business, but it's a whole nother thing to be a Black woman in business in America. And it's hard enough to build a $100,000 company, let alone $1 million company. It's not easy. So everybody thinks that they have a great idea and tomorrow they're going to build a business and it's just going to blow up. But it takes time. It takes a lot of grinding, a lot of missed meals, a lot of traveling, a lot of disappointments. It's not for the faint at heart. And so, talk about all of that. Talk about all of that.
Yeah. So, I think one of the biggest things is to really own your identity as a first part, like really lean into that. I feel like confidence is a really, really big part of success. And while that can be challenging, I think it's just really important to approach work and building business from a place of confidence. Like you got this. own it, right? Know who you are, spend the time as needed to really understand what your strengths are, what your gifts are, and really lean into those, right? I think some of the worst business decisions can be made from a place of insecurity or questioning yourself. You've got to have the confidence in yourself first before you can have an expectation that someone else is going to have confidence in you to get the job done. And confidence, it's an inside job, right? It really is. And I can't emphasize enough just the importance of that aspect of just knowing who you are, owning who you are. And I think that starts to speak for itself in the way that you carry yourself. Even as, people may challenge certain things, someone can disagree with me professionally. I'm not upset about it. I know why I have the professional opinion that I do, and I'm fine with a disagreement. And I'm also opening to hearing their ideas, right? Like I can innovate and I can grow because I'm not coming from a place of insecurity about what I know or what my accomplishments are or my ability to get the job done, right? So I think in having that kind of confidence and making sure there's ample time spent on recognizing and understanding, really embracing and owning, our gifts and our position is particularly important. It both positions us to respond with confidence as well as be open to criticism. Whether that criticism is well meant or intended or not, sometimes some of the best ideas can come from, someone throwing out some criticism. It's like, well, thank you for that. I've got a new idea based on that, right? So our ability to kind of take that and roll it into the next thing and keep moving forward, I think is really important. I've had experiences in my career. I remember one time walking into a meeting and a guy in the meeting asked, what are you doing here? I don't know if he asked because I was Black, because I was a woman, because, what? I don't know why he asked, but, I just sat down and I said, I'm here because I was invited. And I just sat there, and when the guy who had invited me and asked me to come to the meeting, he came in right on time and he said, yeah, I'm the one that has her here. So it was just, there it is. I'm not getting upset at all. I'm here because I'm supposed to be here, just like you're supposed to be here, right? So yeah. So I mean, I think things come, but I would just really say that confidence in really owning your identity is extremely vital, because you are going to come across like different people with different perceptions and opinions and things to say, and all of that, and it just becomes a distraction. Like you're in business to grow, to scale, to make money, and all the other stuff is noise. Cancel that, right? So
cancel.
Cancel. Right.
No, this is good. No, this is great. All right. So any final thoughts that you want to leave us with? Again, everyone, thank you for joining us. Again, we're here with Tina Williams of TCecure and also Don Rideau, and a great Black woman-owned cybersecurity company that's doing great things, that's looking to scale. And maybe the both of you could talk about this. Tina, you first, and then Don, you can kind of jump on this. So talk about the struggle from starting the business, getting it to 6 figures, and then scaling it from 6 figures to 7 figures. And now we're looking at, Don, how do we get it to 8 figures and 9 figures?
Right. Yeah. So, it is. You referred to a grind and a hustle. That indeed it is, right? One of the things that I say is very, very, very important is make sure to keep a close eye on finances. I started out, managing, thinking I would just run QuickBooks myself. A few months in, I said, no, that is not a strong area of mine. Math is certainly, but trying to get the nuances and the books and all of that, I quickly got bookkeepers who were looking at the numbers on a regular basis. After that, I got a financial guy who keeps track of my rates. So I have my bill rates assessed at least twice a year. And then I brought in an operations assistant about 3 years ago that interfaces with both the finance person as well as my bookkeepers. So I can't emphasize enough, if you want to grow and scale and make sure you're charging the right amounts, make sure that you're in a position to really understand what's my profitability? And every time you're quoting, you want to have a clear picture of how much profit is included within that quote. That means having a really tight handle on your expenses, on your overhead, on the cost of benefits for your employees. It's just really, really, really vital if you want to have a financially healthy company to keep a very ongoing pulse on your finances. So that's a really core part of growth. And you can't change what you don't know, right? So it's if you want to grow, you have to know where you are. And you can't just find that out at the end of the year that, oh my gosh, we're in the red. That's not something that should be like a news flash at the end of a year. You should have an ongoing, regular awareness of what your finances are. So that's one big part of it. And I think, in terms of, going on, it is deliver well and continue, as a small business owner, I can have both the responsibilities of client delivery plus business development plus, admin. I say, bring in people into overhead as you need them. So me bringing in an operations assistant 3 years ago was huge, about 90, she now takes care of about 90+% of the administrative type stuff that has to happen with the company, all vital stuff. But if I was doing it, that takes away from my ability to do business development and to deliver to clients. Now that I have Don and also Keisha with KJA, bringing them in also allows me from a business development perspective to narrow what I have to focus on from a BD perspective. I just get to step into the role as an expert instead of all of the other ancillary activities and operations around business development. Right. And then client delivery, I've started to bring in, some really great talent as in different creative ways to be able to satisfy, our clients. So in all of those ways, it's really positioned me and continues to position me to think like a CEO, to look ahead, to continue to innovate so that, that we can scale from, our being $1 million plus, business into, those 8, 9, on up figures.
Oh, Don, what you want to jump on that?
Well, certainly. Look, I'm a byproduct of the informed decision-making process that Tina alluded to. She doesn't guess about her business. It's too important to her. So she has brought aboard people like myself who have a track record of success. So my background is one of developing businesses, growing businesses from the startup stage and creating and managing programs upwards of $50 million. And so that's the type of expertise that she wanted here at TCecure. I've had the honor and privilege of knowing her for years before coming here. And, I've just been amazed at her ability to lead. And so my mission here is to, one, duplicate or exceed my previous success relative to growth. And I think critical to doing that is keeping her position to lead, to elevate her out of the mundane, out of the administration of the company, and can keep her firmly planted in the leadership of the company. She's an incredible communicator, an incredible leader. She runs this company. Make no mistake about it. She is my boss. She is the boss of everybody else who works there. She is a leader. And that is a prerequisite for high-performing professionals like myself. So part of what she talked about was being a Black woman. I can't speak to that, but I can talk about once you are the best, you only hire the best. And that is, the second you're not hiring the best and you're entrusting something that you've built to people who are not of your caliber or aren't smart at what they do, you've made a mistake. Tina has hired the absolute best. And I'm not just speaking about myself. Everyone here at TCecure has a track record of success. She's done a great job of assembling a great team.
You're not just talking about yourself, but you are talking about yourself too, though. I love it. Listen, if you don't ring your bell, who else is going to do it? No, I think that is great stuff. If you are out there, if you're watching, that was worth the price of admission. Because one of my companies does about $50 million in revenue, and what he discussed. He's also in the cybersecurity space, so I may need to connect the two of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And one of the things that he discussed is great for you to be able to scale, but your people have to be able to scale with you. And sometimes employees that you have with the company, they're not scalable. They're able to get you to 100,000. They can get you to 500,000. They might be able to get you to 1 million, but they probably are not scalable to get you to 5 million, to 10 million, to 15 and $20 million in business. And so to be able to find those employees that can help get you to that level is key. And sometimes, and we're on Facebook here, and one of the things that I heard about Mark Zuckerberg is he is great at firing. So it's great to be able to find the right talent, but you also have to know when to cut your talent and go and get someone else. And so being able to know when to do that and how to do that is key in business. And so, in business, we love our people, particularly those who grew up with us in business, who want to be loyal to them. But sometimes we have to recognize they are not good for where you're trying to go, particularly now that it's at the end of the year. Somebody that's watching me probably needs to fire somebody. It's at the end of the year. It might not feel good, but it's at the end of the year. It's time to start a new year and a new decade off right. Somebody needs to be fired. If you want to go, you got to get rid of your heavy load. You got to get rid of your baggage so that you can grow. And to your other point, one of the other things that Oprah said, sign your own checks. So many times business owners are not watching their money. They're like basketball players, NFL players, baseball players. They're just good at what they're doing and not learning the business. We must learn the business so that we can grow. So being able to find the right talent, the right individuals, and watching the money, I think that's absolutely key, Tina.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. So you asked if there were any last words or comments that we have. One of the things.
Tell us about your book. You want to tell us about your book now?
I do. Yes.
Tell us about your book.
It's called Our Father's Business. Hopefully you all can see it. The subtitle of it is Pick Up the Mission, Then Drop the Mic. And so it's really a book about understanding that our professional and personal life titles serve a broader life purpose. So for those that are spiritual and even those who are not, Christ asked a pivotal question when he was just a young boy, and it was one that could be seen as disruptive even of it in and of itself, because he was asking, why are you looking for me? Addressing his parents. Don't you know it must be about my Father's business, right? And so for all of us, sometimes being about our Father's business, pursuing our life purpose, really involves us not following some predefined script that somebody else has given us. So I mentioned earlier the importance and criticality of really owning our identity. The extension of that is owning our identity, owning our destiny, and owning our ventures. If you're not owning these, somebody else is, right? And so the book just really talks about and looks at the life of Christ and how he went about really owning his identity, his destiny, and his ventures, and how we can replicate the same in our lives, and really owning who we are, what we were born to do, and some of those ventures that support that. So you can reach out, to me at TCecure, or you can check out tinaclarice.com to find out more information about this book and how to purchase it. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, iTunes, and I really encourage you to grab it. Great Christmas gift, great way to start the new year with an entrepreneurial mind and an ownership, a mind to own.
Listen, I love it. So the book it's called Our Father's Business.
Yes.
Our Father's Business. And spell TCecure for everyone out there. So give all the contact information again, your contact information, your web address, where they can get the book. Listen, it's December 11th. Some of us have not started Christmas shopping yet. Start by buying this book and give it to everybody in your family. A great gift.
Yeah. So for your cybersecurity services, find us at TCecure. T as in Tango, C as in Charlie, E as in Echo, C as in Charlie, U as in Umbrella, R as in Rich, E as in Echo, TCecure.com. You can also email us at info@TCecure.com. To purchase a copy of the book, you can check out tinaclarice.com, TINACLARICE.com to get a copy of Our Father's Business, Pick Up the Mission, Then Drop the Mic. You can find TCecure, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And we certainly look forward to hearing from you for your cyber services. And hopefully you are also inspired if you check out the book and grab a copy.
This was great stuff, man. Right at the end, man, that was some really good stuff there. I love it. So I want to say hello to Rosemary Diaz Garcia. She's watching. She says she loves me. I think she's talking about me, but she's probably talking about you. She said, I love you. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you, Rosemary, for watching the show. Thank you very much. She's been faithful at watching the show here the last couple of weeks. Please reach out to me when you can, Rosemary. We'd love to see how our organization can work together with you. And your web address, we have your web address listed down here at the bottom also, Tina. So those that are interested in reaching out to you and learning more about you and about your company, again, is www.t as in Tom, C as in Charlie, E as in Edward, C as in Charlie again, U as in Umbrella, R as in Reggie, E as in Edward.com, TCecure.com. Everyone needs to be secure in their business, which is absolutely important. So I want to say hello again to Ms. Velma Traham. How you doing, Velma? We had on the show last week. Thank you for joining us. Miriam Snyder, thank you for joining us as well. Ms. Val Gamble, how are you doing? Thank you. And Carl Tribble Repcheck, thank you for joining us. Mary Mitchell, one of our members here at the Chamber, thank you for joining us as well. Ethel Lundy and National Sales Network of Orlando, thank you as well. And everyone else that's been joining the broadcast, Mr. Hitman Greg, thank you for joining us also. Thank you for joining this broadcast. And Sundiata Unique L, thank you for joining us also. Thank you for watching this broadcast. Thank you, everyone. Every week we bring great Black-owned businesses that have great products, great services. And we got some more coming up at the end of the year here also. So definitely stay tuned. We actually will be live tomorrow as well. Tomorrow we'll be live with Beminda Coffee at 7 p.m. So for those that are getting ready to watch some football on tomorrow evening, right before the football game, hop on to Facebook Live and we'll be talking about some coffee so that you could actually share it with the family during this holiday season. So Don, give us your final thoughts here, Don, about the company, where you plan to take it as we wrap it up here.
You know, I just think we are poised to do great things in 2020. We're being a little secretive, but your members and the business community at large will get to know us very well in 2020. It's really just an honor and a privilege to work for Tina, and she's an incredible leader. She wrote a book. She's a champion athlete, all while managing a company all in the same time. So that gives you some idea as to the powerhouse that she is.
And she plays soccer and, all this other stuff.
Soccer athlete, yeah, champion, not just a player. She's the champ.
Yeah.
So real quick, but as we're closing here, we're getting ready to get out of here. So tell us a little bit about soccer, some of your sports, some of the things that you like to do for everybody that's still watching.
Yeah. So another key thing, I think it's so important to stay active and stay healthy. A big part of, really being able to think creatively and innovatively is to really take care of your body. And so exercise, while it can be mundane, find that thing that's really fun for you. So I really enjoy competing, playing soccer. So I play with the Washington Area Women's Soccer League. I started a team earlier this year called the Closers. We play in the Premier Division. So while I'm not in my 20s anymore, it's a great time playing with those right out of college and competing on that level. So we were able to win district sports summer championship 7v7 and won this fall 11v11. With the women's team. So it's just a really great time. I have fun getting to know different people, being out there on the field, running. It feels great. I have to do a lot more to warm up and cool down, not being too cold anymore. But, I think it's just really inspiring. It's what makes me want to get good rest and, in a balanced manner. I play with women on another team that I don't lead, but they're, I'm probably the youngest one on that team, and they're, 50 and 55 and 60. Wow. They're still playing soccer, and so I think it's really great and it's possible. Those are things that I really enjoy. And of course, spending time with my husband, it's great time. Friday nights now are yes, we get to binge watch some television show. It's like the highlight of the week to be able to just back after his long week and after mine. So
binge watching is the best.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Don?
She's a competitor. She competes. And that permeates throughout the culture of TCecure.
Yeah.
She's the winner.
Yeah, those who like to compete, particularly in sports, when you have that winner mentality, a lot of times that can be taken over in business also. So that's
it is play to win. That's what I say when I did a commencement speech. I told those middle schoolers the same thing. When you're in life, if it's worth doing, do it in a way that says I want to win. Don't be a sore loser. You don't always win it all, but your mindset ought to be going into it that I am here to win, and approach things, business, life, school, everything in that capacity.
No, this is great. This is great. Listen, thank you all for joining us. This was great, great, great stuff, man. I can't wait to go back and watch the show. If you missed any part of the show, it is also streaming on YouTube. So hop on over to YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, USBC, which stands again for United States Black Chambers, USBC Directory. Hop onto the YouTube and go into our page, USBC Directory. You can find some of all of the old videos there also that we've done over the since August, man. We started the show on August 28th. We had a lot of kinks, but man, my guy Ty is a winner, and Ty's been doing his thing, and we've worked it all out. So it's been great, and it's been exciting. We've interviewed some amazing companies over the past several months, and we plan to do the same thing upcoming in the new year here also. So thank you, Tina Williams Karoma, for joining us, and Mr. Don Rondo. Thank you for joining us as well. This is really, really excellent. Thank you all for being a part of this broadcast. And we look forward to sharing it here in the future for everyone else that's watching. So again, if you have not done so, please download the app, USBC Directory. Don and Tina, make sure you all download the app if you haven't done so yet. USBC Directory, largest Black business directory in the world. As you're getting ready to travel, you go into different cities, you go into different states, different countries. We want to make sure that you are locating Black-owned businesses. We list roughly about 4,000 Black restaurants around the country and around the world. So if you're looking for Black restaurants to go to, no matter what city you're going into, download the app. The USBC Directory app makes it easy for you to be able to locate a business and support a business no matter where you're going. So we make it really, really easy. So thank you again for joining us. Download the app, and if you'd like to become a member of the United States Black Chambers, go to our website, USBC, United States Black Chambers, USBCdirectory.com, and hit the link that says join, USBCdirectory.com, and hit the link that says join. We would love to have you as a member of the chamber. We have great, great Black-owned businesses here. As you've seen here tonight, this has been really, really exciting. So I do want to read one last thing about our sponsor again. Our sponsor for this show, for this USBC Directory Live, is MC Harry Associates. MC Harry Associates is an architecture firm with over 60 years in award-winning and designing services. MC Harry Associates continues to innovate and lead in community excellence. Conveniently located in the heart of Miami. I love Miami. Hope to be there soon. MC Harry Associates has extensive experience in all project and concept ideas. MC Harry's portfolio conveys a diversity of projects that they've successfully completed. MC Harry Associates' philosophy is to capture and precisely deliver their client's vision every single time. Their team of architects and designers works harmoniously to achieve greatness. Our success is our client's success. That's what MC Harry says. So contact if you're looking for an architect, if you have a development, one of our members just reached out to me recently, said he's getting ready to develop a project. I think I'm going to connect the two of them together. So contact MC Harry at marketing, MARKETING, at M as in Mary, C as in Charles, H as in Harry, A as in Apple, R as in Reggie, R as in Reggie, Y.com. Marketing at mcharry.com. Listen, tomorrow, as I mentioned earlier, we will have Bemenda Coffee on tomorrow. And man, we just have some great, great shows coming up as well. We have also another one of our IT companies is coming up here next week. Here also, we have some great shows. We also have one of our construction companies that will be with us at the end of the year, talking about how she's been able to grow her company to also be $1 million company as well in the construction space. So definitely join us. Keep an eye out on future broadcasts that we'll be doing every week. We bring great Black-owned companies that have great products and services. Thank you all for joining us. You all have an amazing night. And I will see you tomorrow. Let me go get some rest so I can be back tomorrow.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you all. You all have a great night. Have a great night. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.